Hey guys, welcome to the Barbarian's Horde. I'm the Nerdy Barbarian. Today I've got a Microtech to show you, the new Ultratech, the zero blade plate model, specifically in Tanto. Pretty cool knife. There's some drama around it. Let's talk about it. Stick around. You're gonna drive your spouse crazy with this if you get one. I got this thing because I really like the new action on it, not so much because of the zero blade play gimmick. I don't really want to call it a gimmick, but the blade play wasn't really affecting usability of the Ultratech, in my opinion. It's just a nice to have. We're knife nerds.
We're Costco guys.
We like to have solid lockup with no play. I just always kind of accepted that part of an out the front was gonna be some blade play because it needed some room to move, and that was just the way it was. It never really bothered me. Again, not a huge selling point for me. I can see why other people would like that. Price and availability, these things are available. They're gonna run a $380, $400. I think around $380 is about typical though. I looked before I did this, and these are available everywhere. They're in stock all over the place. These are a pretty high production knife. Microtech pumps them out, so you're gonna be able to find one of these if you want one. They're a little more expensive than the old one. I think the old Ultratechs are around $310, something like that. So you're gonna pay a little more for this. Is it worth that? Well, we'll talk about it. Let's go to the tabletop and check this thing out. Get a pretty fancy box with this thing. Love to see it. Not a deal maker or a deal breaker, but I like to see a nice box. I'm a consumer pig. What can I say? Lift off lid, bunch of ads and junk paperwork in here. I've never actually opened this. Let's see what's in this. Knife care, dual action operation, sticker. And then the knife in a little bag. Caution, sharp edge, inspected by somebody. And here we are.
Oh, wow.
Let me go ahead and get the comparisons and measurements out of the way. Protech Malibu. Nums on. And here's the old model Ultratech. Put that one right next to it, actually. Forgive the lanyard, but I'll try to line up the studs. The glass breakers on the back there. So you can see if you include the glass breaker, it's about the size of an nums on. And it's a little bit longer than the old model Ultratech. Yeah, the blade's just a hair longer. Blade on this one is 3.5 inches, pretty much exactly from tip to the handle. The old one, 3 3/8 to the handle. An 1/8 inch longer, not much. Handles themselves look like they're pretty much exactly the same size. Interesting, I hadn't noticed this one until I got them right next to each other, but the old model Ultratech's black looks a little more blue than the new one. This is more of a flat, true black than this one. Interesting. Another big change from the old Ultratech is the clip. The new one looks a lot better in my opinion. And this one is in the apocalyptic finish, I believe, or maybe that's just, I guess it's just a stonewash finish. Heavy stonewash finish there. The clips match them now. This is kind of a stonewashed finished clip. Maybe, I don't know. It's pretty matte, but it's titanium and not steel, so it'll probably look different. The clips match a little better. This is pretty glaringly different on these old ones to the stonewashed blade. This one's been stonewashed through use, though. This thing has seen some use. This is a few years old. This belongs to my buddy now. It used to be mine, but I traded it or gave it to him, and he let me borrow it back for this video. Now, the big selling point of this new ZBP, or zero blade play model, is no blade play. Crazy. And sometimes you might have a tiny bit of wiggle if you wrench on it real hard, but that's also adjustable. These things, unlike the old model, come with regular Torx screws. I'm gonna check those real quick, actually. I bet they're a T8. Yep, T8. So we got T8 Torx bits on the new one. The old one has these proprietary tri-wing screws, male screws. You need a female tri-wing bit of some kind to fit over that. I think they discouraged user service back in these days. These new ones, they even have videos up on YouTube showing you how to take them apart, because one of the things this thing will do is you can take it apart and adjust the zero blade play. Because as you use it and break it in, it might get a little bit of movement. This one, if I wrench on it pretty good, has a tiny bit of up and down that I can feel, but you can't see. But that is adjustable. But bear in mind, the tighter you make this thing, the more likely that dirt and debris and everything are going to cause it to misfire. So it's kind of a balance. You kind of choose your poison there. It doesn't move enough for me to care, so I never bothered. Like if I'm not pulling on it hard, it doesn't move at all, and that's fine. I didn't actually buy this because of the zero blade play. The thing that sells me on these versus the old model is that action is so much softer, easier to actuate. This thing, twice as heavy. I mean, I'm guessing I don't have a trigger gauge I can put on this thing or anything like that, but that is a lot stiffer than this. Oh yeah, while I'm talking about comparisons, damn, see that? Comparisons, the new one is wider. This is a little bit taller here. This way. Yeah, the body's just a little bit taller on the new one. The buttons look like they're about the same height, but the body on this is wider. And maybe that's just down to, no, I was going to say maybe it's down to the blade shape, but I don't think so. I think they're all the same size. It's just a little wider. It's actually more comfortable in the hand than the old one. This is a little slim. I mean, it's not bad either, but I think this is better. The new clip also, while bigger, doesn't bother my hand as much. I don't feel it as bad as I do this one. This is also not going to ruin anyone's day. It's not a big deal, but I'm more aware of that clip in my hand than I am this one. Another interesting thing, these have these weird little balls on the end. It's got a little ball on the end of the clip to retain it in your pocket. I guess the idea is it'll slide in easier and then still has that pressure point, like on this. You got that little contact patch there. And this ball is basically doing the same thing. And I don't know if there's any other real reason they did that other than it just looks cool, maybe. Maybe they thought it looked cool, I don't know. But overall, I like the look. I like the changes. They didn't change it dramatically, but they changed it enough. It's a little bit taller, feels good in the hand. It's got user serviceable screws now. It's still got the stupid glass breaker that I mean, a lot of people get really mad about glass breakers. It's like cool to hate glass breakers now because they're kind of a cliche at this point on a lot of knives, but I mean, it doesn't bother me. I don't care that it's there. Omnumzon's got a glass breaker too, right there. I don't care one way or another. It doesn't bother me that it's there. It's fine. You still got your lanyard hole. This screw, I think, is also a point of adjustment. I haven't actually torn this apart myself. I'm probably not going to because I think I'm going to sell this to a buddy of mine, and I'm just not going to mess with it before he gets it. If he wants to tear it apart later and do a video, I'll link it. But Microtech has teardown and instruction videos on how these work. And there's some other videos on these things too you might be interested in. One of the things is, you've probably heard if you're into alpha fronts and knives in general, but Hawk Knives is suing Microtech over this design.
Well, fine, go ahead and sue me.
Allegedly, Hawk Knives says they allege that Microtech stole this zero blade play, the way it wedges the blade to lock it up. They say that that was a proprietary system that Microtech has infringed on their patent for. I don't have a lot of insider details on that, but Hawk Knives has released a video talking about it, the owner of Hawk Knives. And I have seen a couple of other videos of people who know a lot more about these than I do, tearing them down and showing the insides, and it does look a little sus, I gotta say. And from the stories I've heard, Marfione had a Hawk, liked him a lot, was familiar with the design before this came out, but again, that's alleged. I don't know. That's just what the hearsay on YouTube is. So, spicy, a little drama for you. Of course, the Hawk Deadlock and this are not super great competitors anyway, so I'm not sure how much actual damage there is there, in my opinion, because, I mean, nobody who wanted a Hawk is going to be like, oh, cool, now I can just spend $300 and something and get this instead. I mean, if you wanted to spend $2,000, $1,000 to $2,000 on an out the front, you're probably still going to want the Hawk and not the production knife. Not really a competitor, in my opinion. If you wanted a Hawk, you probably still want a Hawk Deadlock, even though this is available. But then again, I mean, you
That's all, folks.
you spend all the time and energy and money to come up with a system, and then somebody else just comes in and takes it and starts undercutting you by a lot. I can see how that's going to upset people. You know, I don't blame anybody who wants to write off Microtech over this whole fiasco. I'm going to stay out of that. I just wanted to talk about the knife, but I can't talk about this right now and not mention the lawsuit. If you want to dig into that a little more, there's plenty of stuff out there for it. But moving on. Again, not the blade play issue. For me, it was this. This is so much easier to actuate. A lot of people are going to prefer this one just because it's so much easier to actuate. Yeah, see, I can't even do that one with my index finger. It's so stiff. This is a heretic. This was started by Marfione's son, I believe. And then another interesting lawsuity tidbit. I believe Marfione or Microtech the brand, sued Heretic Knives over some of the tech in their knives. Sued his own son. Again, I don't have any insider info there. It's just a thing I read about, but interesting. But this one, it's about as hard to actuate as the Ultratech, but it's a little easier because the button is a lot wider on this. This is the Heretic Cleric 2, by the way. Big ass pocket sword. Much bigger knife. I'll do a video on that at some point. But this, by far, the easiest action of any out the front I've ever messed with. If you've messed with an out the front in the past and have been off-put by how hard they are to actuate, this may be the one for you. I have not used a Hawk deadlock. I can't comment on how hard those are to actuate. I bet they're probably similar to this if I had to guess, but I'm just guessing. And again, they're not really competitors. Or you either want a $300 to $400 knife or you want a $1,000 to $2,000 knife, and they're not really direct competitors in my opinion. So, but as far as affordable production out the fronts go, very slick, very easy to use. I think anyone who gets this is going to be pretty happy with that. Again, I love that it's user serviceable. The blade is nice stonewash finish here. This is the Tanto. I'm a sucker for Tantos. It's got this really cool, I don't know what to call that, a fuller, I guess. That's completely useless, but it looks really neat. Microtech USA Ultratech on the blade there, and then M390 MK is the steel. Nothing on the backside. You're going to see some very fine milling lines going up and down on the blade. That's kind of neat looking. I'm not sure if they did that intentionally or if that's just a byproduct of the milling that they didn't bother to get rid of, but I think it looks neat, so it's not bothering me. A lot of higher end knives are leaving milling lines on the blade now. It's kind of the hot new thing, and I actually think it looks kind of cool, so I don't really care. Stonewash finish, matte black exterior. I've carried this a few times, used it a little bit, haven't seen any scratches develop. The finish seems fairly durable so far, in and out of the pocket, haven't had any problems with that. Haven't had any misfires. Every single time I've deployed it, it has gone out and come back, unless it hits something. Then you just fling it out, bring it back in, no problems, works perfect. Now let's cut something real quick. Let's see this factory edge. I took apart a Cigar Aficionado magazine. Let's cut up the last leaf, shall we? Sorry, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Terry Bradshaw. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, cut that time. Yeah, okay, cut's fine. It's not gonna win any awards or anything, but it's fine. It's sharp. Not really shaving sharp, but that's fine. Took a couple of hairs off. Yeah, it's a serviceable edge. It'll be fine. Got a bit of a choil here for sharpening. That's cool. That'll give you a little bit of room. The secondary bevel looks pretty even. Again, if you're used to Tantos, you've got this sharp transition here, so you're going to be sharpening this, then changing position and sharpening this. That's just the way it is with the Tanto most of the time. If you don't like that, you can get a dagger edge or any other kind of blade. One final look at this versus the old model. Yeah. So if you were considering an Ultratech and you were thinking about the old one, I really don't think there's anything to recommend the old one for over the new one. The new one is better in every way. I think it looks better, it's better to hold, it's better to actuate, it's more user serviceable. The only problem is it's a little bit more expensive, but honestly I think you should just save your money and get the new one. I'd recommend the new one highly over the old one. Unless you really like the stiff button. I had one friend who preferred the stiff button of this one, so it wasn't this, it was the Heretic, but he likes this more because it's not going to be as easy to accidentally set off. That's another thing. People act like OTFs are dangerous weapons and stuff, and they're banned in a lot of places, but really it's one of the safer knives out there. You want to close a frame lock, what do you got to do? You got to put your finger in the path of the blade to close it. And someone who's not used to handling knives, that's a lot riskier than just boop, the blade's out, boop, the blade's in. Your hand never got anywhere near the cutting edge. You just pop it out, do what you got to do, pop it back in. It's not going to stab into anybody. It's not like a movie. And they're not really any faster to deploy than a frame lock or any other knife. I mean, as you know, if you guys are into knives like I am, and I'm sure you are, you wouldn't be watching this, you'll know that a regular knife deploys just fine these days. They're all fast. This isn't any more tactical or anything like that. It's just a knife. It's fun to play with. You drive your spouse crazy. I never did get a weight. Let me just check the weight real quick just to make sure it's not anything crazy going on compared to the old one. Okay, the old one is gonna weigh 3.5 ounces. The new one, 3.7. So, 3.8. But this has a bead on it too. This is my buddy's bead he put on it. This is his knife, remember? So this is probably about 3.4 ounces and this is 3.8. So a little bit heavier. I mean, I don't really notice it in the hand. And either one of them is not particularly heavy for a knife. They're both lighter than something like a Chris Reeve knife or a Hinderer or something like that. So if you carry any normal size or moderate size knife, 3-inch, 3.5-inch knife, this isn't going to be a problem for you. Just the only real barrier to carry on this is going to be, is it legal for you? Make sure you look that up before you get one of these. It's not worth going to jail over. A lot of places ban these for no reason. Like I said, not really any more dangerous. They just scary. Tactical is scary. All right, I think that's about all to look at here. Let's go wrap up. Well, wasn't that fascinating? Things I like fidgeting with it. It's fun. Really good action. Looks cool. Looks a lot better than the old one in my opinion. The action is amazing. Zero blade play thing is nice. You're gonna have to adjust it to get it just where you want it. I mean, you don't have to, but you might have to. Mine has a little bit, but it hasn't been enough for me to bother. So things I like, the action, the aesthetics upgrade. I think this new clip design looks a lot better. I really like that. Things I don't like, well, I don't really like the copyright infringement.
Allegedly!
They allegedly stole a design from Hawk Knives. I like Hawk Knives a lot. I have a lot of respect for the things they do and the designs they come up with. But having said that, again, to reiterate, I don't think this is really a direct competitor with the Hawk Deadlock. This thing is so much cheaper. That you're shopping for this or you're shopping for that. You're not like, well, I'll just get this instead. That's not really the way most of us think about things like this, in my opinion. But yeah, stealing ideas sucks. You shouldn't steal people's work. I mean, Hawk might have even licensed it to them if they'd asked. Maybe they did ask. I don't know. I don't have any insider info. Look into that yourself if you want. So things I don't like. It's a little expensive. 380 is a bit high, I think. This should have just been like the old Ultratech price and maybe make the old Ultratech a little cheaper, but that's not the world we live in, so everything gets higher. So I don't really love the price. I don't love the drama around the lawsuit, but I love the action. I love the aesthetical changes. I think that's good. Value for money. I mean, there's not really another competitor other than the Hawk, so yeah, maybe it is a competitor. This is the only zero blade play Ultratech out the front you're gonna get, short of $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. So if you really care about that, this is the only option. So in that case, it's kind of a good value for money. I just like it because it's nice, smooth, easy to actuate out the front. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I guess as long as the drama doesn't bother you, the alleged intellectual property theft doesn't bother you, yeah, this is fine. I don't have any mechanical complaints. The only big complaint I had with the old one was that they tried to make it where you couldn't service it, and this thing, they've gone out of their way to allow you to service it, so I really don't have anything to say there. Yeah, either if you like the look and you're okay with the price and you want it out the front and they're legal where you live, then yeah, go for it. This is a pretty cool knife, and you know, not ruinously expensive for an American-made knife. I will say I'm getting tired of all the out the fronts being aluminum. That's another thing the Hawk has going for it. It's titanium. I asked some manufacturers, I asked Chavez because they just came out with an out the front, and theirs is aluminum also, and I was like, why isn't it titanium? Why do you guys not use titanium? And someone said something about it galling with the movement, but I really don't know if titanium galls any worse than aluminum. I don't know, I'm not a metallurgist, but that's the only kind of legitimate excuse I've heard so far. I'm thinking that it's just because these are the standard. People expect an out the front to be aluminum, and it's cheaper. And the market's not clamoring for titanium casings yet, and so they're not bothering because it costs more. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I don't know. I wish they would make them out of titanium. I'd feel a little better about paying $400 for a knife if it had a titanium case. It's not that much more expensive to make. It just feels a little more premium to me. So that's the only real change mechanically I'd like to see. Is I'd like them to make these out of titanium without doubling the price. That would be cool. So that's about all I got on this one, guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. That'll help me out a lot. And there's a Patreon link down below, but nobody's gonna do that because we are all broke because we buy too many knives. Subscribe, you'll get notified of the next one. See you guys.